And here we are. Yeah, so this next weekend I will be putting together all the credits. I also need to put together all the stuff for the review for the art submissions. And just so you know, make sure if you're doing any kind of sketch work for that, today is the last day, and the submission area will be closed. So please remember to get anything you guys want to put in there in, and we will probably go through them. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday. It won't be tomorrow because I won't have a chance to put them together, and we want to make sure everybody has time to put stuff in before it closes. And then Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I'll have to look at the schedule. I also did a review from the composer of the upcoming music. There will be our background music while we're talking and stuff like that, since we've been without music. And I do hear you guys that it is a issue, and we have talked about it quite a few times, but it is coming. It will be here. Gives you a cup of tea in a cup and saucer. I always pick up the cup and forget where I left the saucer. Yeah, I can understand that. So here we are. We're going to do this. Okay, we're going to go down here. Where is our logo? There's our logo. Give it a couple seconds for the names that are already on there. Yeah, because I'll have to go through and set it up to where we can look at them on screen, and also make sure that we have the names of the people that made them with that, and also add them to a concept sketches. Add them. Make sure we have everybody in the concept sketches for everybody that's actually added something in there, and so that will be that. Now, let us review what we talked about yesterday. Let me get that up. Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, that's funny. And final smalls. Okay. Yesterday was the 7th. We need the Word doc. There is our Word doc. Okay, points, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, some of the points of the stuff that we did yesterday was I went through. In fact, I'm reading from it now. As I went through yesterday and showed you how I'm automating the note taking for the stuff that we talk about in game dev, so that we have those notes for going back to and making sure that we get everybody's opinions and stuff in there, as well as the stuff that I'm talking me talking on the stream itself. There's a couple things I still want to get put into it, and I don't know if it's possible. One is time code. But then again, my brain says, well, if we get time code on there, then we have an automatic an automatic subtitling system as well. But I haven't got. I don't know if that's possible. It'd be kind of cool. So I'm also working on the streamline process for all the what everybody's saying and what everybody's contributing and stuff like that, so that we just have all that somewhere. Let's see, what else did we talk about yesterday? We talked about meetings and what should be meetings and what should be email, and that's fine, because we do have to talk every now and then about the actual, not just the creative of the development itself, but all the things that go around it. And meetings and stuff like that can take huge amounts of people away from development and slow a lot of things down. So those need to be processed well as well. And we've had conversations, and agree with quite a few things that were said in there. One of them that I agree with is never go to a meeting that doesn't have a very clear agenda put out for it, because they're not telling you what you need to talk about. They're not telling you what to prepare for. That's just silly to me. We talked about the role of producers in keeping visibility upward and downward of all the work that is being done, and their job to keep communication between all parties. We talked about being the communication cycle being the most crucial thing, both for the work you're doing and keeping that on track, but also for the visibility to the departments around you for how much work you actually have. Because you can't, I'm sorry, but you can only fill a cup so much, and then it overruns. And that's the same thing with some of these teams that are doing so much work that it's crazy. People keep expecting them to do stuff. We also talked about the importance of managers and producers prioritizing work properly sometimes based on company goals, not necessarily on individual department goals. So that's very important. We also talked about documentation of the work you're doing, as well as documentation of the procedures that you're creating in the work you're doing. So that's important, because not just so that you can remember how you did it last time, but also so you can teach other people how to do it, which is always good, helping other people level up. And then we talked about the need for department heads to make decisions quickly and to make them decisively, and to make sure that everybody involved, not just their department, is aware of those decisions and what's going forward. I talked a little bit about how some companies I've worked for in the past will give different departments different marching orders, and how it screws things up, because if everybody's not on the same page, you're going to waste a lot of cycles. We talked about the importance and the impact of removing underperforming people from teams. It's very important, because every team, no matter where you go, every single team knows who the weakest link in that team is, and they know who the person is that they have to do, whose work they have to fix all the time. And that is just, if you come into a department and you do not listen to those and see if you can observe the things that they say are going on, and then if you don't fix them, then your team will never trust you. And I always say is one bad person can poison a whole team, because they know, and if you get put in a department where someone above you's relative works for that department, I can almost guarantee you that person is the weakest link. It's very rare that they are not. So I would say, and that is where you really need to learn how to negotiate and talk to superiors above you. Because I've been in departments where I've watched friends of the owner, friends of upper management literally be moved from department to department, because they really don't know how to do anything, but their friend is in high places, and those are things that you really need to identify quickly and find solutions for. Let's see. We also talked a bit about layoff practices, both in the UK here and stuff like that, and in our industry. We talked a lot about the 9-box, and the fact that every company I've ever worked for, when the 9-box comes out, layoffs are coming. So the 9-box is a way of evaluating personnel and things like that, and it usually is done to determine who should be laid off. So if your manager ever goes, they have to do 9-box evaluations as part of the evaluations this year, layoffs are coming, is usually what happens. And it's sad, but I've actually been asked by supervisors to do a 9-box on my team, and then gone to my supervisor and says, when are the layoffs coming? So yeah. And they always do the same thing. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not what we're doing. And then literally a month later, layoffs are there. And then you just kind of sit there and go, okay, well, I told you. Yeah. Well, yesterday is I put it up late last night because I had to leave almost immediately after the show yesterday. But if you go to YouTube, Davy's Art Corner, and look at the game dev section, you'll see the whole conversation. We're kind of all over the place. No, I mean, I hope you didn't take that away from it, a parent operation, because here's the deal. That is how all companies do things. It's not just about game dev. I'm just telling you the things that are done in all companies and saying they also happen in game dev. That's corporate. So yes, there is and the reason why we have it in game dev in the first place is because as games started making more money than movies, which they do, big corporate guys started saying, I want part of that, and started coming in and replacing the kids that started the company, and the people that believed in the people that they were working on, and they started applying the corporate model to running of a game company. And that's what's happening. And these are not abnormal situations. These are how corporations have been running forever. Yeah, you may be lucky and you just may not be aware of it, because even with layoffs and stuff like that, I've had some companies come to me and say, okay, we're laying off these people in your department. And I'm like, well, why didn't you ask me? Why wasn't I part of the conversation? And they're like, oh, well, we decided. And that sucks, especially if you're a manager who have really good people and nobody asked you who should stay and who should go. And that sucks. You know, big corp studios are brutal. Yes. It's part of it is just the way it is. It is, you have to, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the environment's great, everything's great. On the floor, it absolutely is. On the floor where you're doing the work and you're having fun and you're making cool stuff and you're interacting with your day-to-day working people and stuff like that. I have never been in a situation where that was a bad thing. It's once that corporate hat starts coming down into those places that things usually go bad. And that's sad. And what's funny though, it's 100% predictable because they're running the same playbook every time. Because that's what your business degree tells you have to do. And they follow it to the letter for several reasons. They follow it to the letter because then they can justify with HR that they did it all correctly. And they can make sure that they don't get in trouble for doing it wrong, basically. Yes, there is a reason why indie studios create better games. You're absolutely right, because they interact with each other a lot more. They talk directly to each other. We used to joke that when we made Warcraft 1, which we've been playing, there was only 24 of us in the whole company. We didn't even have an HR person yet. We just got our first receptionist, because before that, me and Frank Pierce used to answer the phones, which was just scary. We're not the kind of people you want answering the phone. Yeah, and most of the stuff coming from above, when you start getting into the corporate guys, is they're making decisions based on what makes them look good, not on whether the product is good for the player or not. There's not a whole lot of discussion in regards to how to make the game better. The discussions are always about how can we get the most money out of this game. And I've never been a fan of that, ever. And in early Blizzard, we didn't think about that. Or let me rephrase that. There were people whose job it was to think about that. It was not ours because we were making the game. Our job was to make the games as best we could and to make them fun and to make them something that we were proud of. That wasn't Sam. That was Chris Metzen, Sparta. Sam was hired the same year I was. Chris Metzen came 94, I believe. Yeah, early 94. But Chris had, he was only 19 years old. He was working at, I think it was at J.C. Penney's. He was working in the loading docks of J.C. Penney's. And I think his mom or someone told him about an ad for an artist in for Silicon and Synapse when we were Silicon and Synapse. We weren't Blizzard yet. Or maybe, yeah, it was the same year. So it's hard to, I don't remember exact timings. We're going to get a zombie here in a second. Sorry. So I may have to finish this story afterwards. But Chris called, and then apparently I scared him so much on the phone that he forgot to get the address and had to call back a couple times. To where I finally got to the point it's like, show up or not, I don't care, because you could talk to people on the phone back there that way. But to his credit, he did show up. He did bring his portfolio, and his stuff was awesome. And he did get hired. So, but yeah, he was, when he first walked in, he was pretty scared of me. It was pretty funny. We got over it. Chris is awesome now. Yeah. Only 19. Yeah, he was only 19 years old. He was a skinny little kid. He wasn't the monster he is today. Kidding. Chris knows I love him. In all fairness, whether you're in indie studio or corporation, your job is always on the line. I'm going to answer that after the zombie thing because I don't think that's true. I think the problem is, Sparta, so to say that your job is always on the line is a little too harsh. Because one of the things that I give Alan and Mike a lot of credit for is every single one of us at that time in the beginning, when there was only 24 of us, every single one of us made huge mistakes. And Alan and Mike said, it was fine. Let's get back to making cool stuff. There was not there wasn't a boardroom at all back then. It was literally, we would all come at lunch and be in the middle of the office area and talking and playing Magic and doing things like that. And we would discuss problems there. But yeah, I mean, Chris is another example of making a huge mistake into a win. Because I was teaching all the boys all the artists how to do 3D. So we were teaching them 3D Studio and all that stuff. And some of them were doing really well at it and some of them weren't. Chris was one of the ones that wasn't. He was not doing well at it all. To the point to where Friday afternoon, when it was time to get off work, he was so pissed at not being able to just grasp the concept of the 3D stuff that he spit on his monitor and then punched it because he was so frustrated with it all. And he went home and basically was thinking about whether he was going to be fired on Monday morning because he punched his screen and spit on it and did all those things, because his monitor fell off off his desk, all that stuff. It was a mess, but he's sitting at home that weekend and he's just going, okay, what can I do? Because I can't learn this 3D. I don't want to lose my job. What can I do? And he sat down and wrote the beginnings of all the lore for Warcraft. And he came in Monday and he went to Alan and he goes, look, I cannot grasp this 3D thing. Cannot grasp it at all. I I realized I messed up. I realized I punched my monitor. I realized I spit on it. I did all that stuff. But I went home and I wrote this. And I think I can be good at this where I can't be good at that. And and Alan read it and it was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. And thus began Chris's writing career for World of Warcraft and StarCraft and all that stuff. He's just a brilliant writer, but nobody knew. It all came out from he made a mistake. He got backed into a corner, couldn't figure out how to make it work, found another path, and it gave us some of the best lore in video games ever. You know, and he's still working on it today. In fact, he's back there now. Him and Taryn, both who Taryn I hired directly. Chris was one that I keep getting blamed for hiring, but in all honesty, Alan hired him. I just let him in the building, you know. So it's pretty funny. But even in Stats' book, he said that I was responsible for hiring Metzen, which I thought was hilarious. You know, but we all know it was Alan. Alan did all the hiring and firing back then. You know, until Pat Wyatt became a VP, then Alan put all the firing to Pat Wyatt. So we used to play jokes on people by calling them to Pat Wyatt's office over the loudspeakers, just to freak people out. It was just fun. It was just silliness, but yeah. People messed up, but they learned from that. Yes. In indie studio, funding is generally tight. So if your boss miscalculates or messes up, everything can go to hell. Yeah, without a doubt. But it's surprising how much Mike and Alan put up with in the early years, especially since when royalties didn't come in on time, Mike and Alan would have to take their credit cards down and cash their credit cards in to put money in the bank to be able to pay salaries. You know, while we were waiting for royalties, because royalties didn't always come in on time. You know, or payments didn't come in our time or anything else. It's just, that's the way it was. Thank you very much, Savvy, for the blessing. Okay, what else did we talk about yesterday? Layoffs, practices, we talked about that. Discussion of the role of HR, yeah. And I want to make something very clear. Yes, I said yesterday that HR is all about, their job is to make sure the company doesn't get sued. That is true. But they are also human beings. You know, we had an HR person that was at Blizzard that was there for a very long time, and I loved her to death. You know, but I always remembered that her job was about protecting the company. But she was also a very good friend and someone that I could talk to. And to her credit, none of the things that we talked to privately ever became part of anything else, which was good. And it never would have. But it does. I don't want you to be afraid to be friends with HR people. Just know that when they're at work and they're doing stuff, that their job is to protect the company and to find those pain points in the company before they become something that has to be taken care of legally. That's their job. Yeah. What do you mean you can't joust with scooters? That is exactly, what's funny is one of the things that was put up for Petrus over the weekend was Petrus and Mark Skelton doing scooter jousting. Yeah, so that is funny. So somewhere out there, someone put up one of the videos. And the videos, I put all the videos of us scooter jousting actually on the 10-year employee present DVD. It's an Easter egg on there. It's I forget which screen it's on, but if you move around on the screens, at some point you'll see two scooters facing each other at the top of the screen. And if you click on that, then the videos of us scooter jousting come up. So, and someone put one of those up over the weekend because Bill had unfortunately had died on Saturday or Friday or Saturday. Is Savvy our HR? Technically, no. Savvy is, but Savvy is our VP and our mod, uh, and will we do not need it. We don't give her another title. We have many. So no, Savvy technically is not our HR department. You know, but I will say this is if you do work for a company, and I know it's you get them and you go, why the hell do I need to read this? Do read the company manual and see what it is they're expecting from you and stuff like that. It doesn't hurt to know it. It also doesn't hurt to know what you can and cannot get in trouble for. Because sometimes culture does not match up with HR practices. So think about that before you toss a water balloon in the office. Like I said, if you can find someone that has the 10-year anniversary DVD that was an employee gift, it's on that DVD hidden as an Easter egg. But someone did put it up over the weekend. I don't know if I can get to it where on this machine because this machine is isolated. Let me see if I can find. Let's see if I can find the videos. Someone may have put it up. Let me see if I can find it on this machine, which I probably cannot. Why I look for Bill Petras does my face come up? Don't do that. I'm not Bill Petras. Okay, that is an interview. No, I'm not seeing it, but don't have access to my personal accounts from this computer, so not seeing it today. But yeah, we had a scooter jousting competition for it was a few weeks before we got caught and told not to do it again, but funny stuff. Let me see if it's in this one. No, it's something that was put on the alumni group, and I can't get to that from this computer, so. Nope, not finding it. Yeah, and basically scooter jousting, and I'll tell you how it was done. And we had trophies, and we had a first place trophy and a second and third, and the trophy moved around. I had it at one point. A couple other people, Max had it for a little while. I think Petras had it for a little while. Mark Skelton had it for a little while. You know, but basically what we would do, and we'd only do this after hours at like 10 o'clock at night or something. We were working late. We had these big beanbag chairs and we draped them over the front of the Razor scooters. And then we would get at either ends of the hall and then just come at each other and hit with the beanbags and try to knock each other over. No, it didn't give me that title. Okay. Savvy, yep, nope, got that. Nope. They're on the 10-year DVD. Like I said, the scooter jousting videos are technically on the 10-year DVD, and I don't think they're anywhere else because I don't think I saved them. I did record them with my camera, and kept them because I thought they were funny. But they're back in storage back in California. But yeah, so unfortunately, this machine is blocked off from all that stuff. So sad. I was going to try not to talk about Bill Petrus, but because it gets me worked out because he was a pretty young guy. I mean, very young guy, and for him to suddenly fall was that one was surprised. That one surprised me. He's a good dude. Good dude. Hmm. Let me see. I'm gonna take one more look here. See if I can. Nope, not seeing it. Okay. I'm back. That was a waste of time. I really wish they'd let me check the candidates prior to booking interviews. I'm back. What a waste of time. I really wish they'd give me decent interviewers. Wow. Marshmallow just took a shot at Cervantes. I'm here to learn. Okay, let me get back to I think those were all the bullet points of what we talked about yesterday. So, where did my Word document go? Yeah, so it's very important to understand your company's policies. I know it's like, oh, yay, there's the manual, blah 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 blah. But yeah, you know what? On a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning when you're not sure um, what you're going to do in the morning while you're drinking your coffee, read those. It's very important that you read the company manuals and understand what they expect from you and what they will not allow, because sometimes it can surprise you what's not allowed and you can get in trouble for something that you do every day. How dare you only read 5/6 of my statement? Interesting. And he's gone. Thank you, Savvy. I approve this message. Okay, let's see. We got that. So yeah, so we're all caught up. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some of these follow-up questions. Uh, we talked a little bit about, I think it was the day before. No, I 100% agree. Savvy, you made the call. You were right. What's funny though is when I go back and look at some of these people that come in and are trying to be disruptive and stuff like that, it amazes me how many of them the account was just made this morning. So that's something that always just gets me going. It gets my blood boiling. It's just like, really, you want to be a dick and you're just coming in here to be a dick. Okay, got it. It's like the person that was just banned. They're currently offline. Their account has nothing on the screen. Um, I don't even know what is a speed run ban. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's a burner account, which probably. But this one, literally empty, 0 followers, nothing on it, completely blank page. Yeah. I am familiar with speedrunning games, yes, but I didn't know about speedrunning bans. That's a term I've never heard. So I please bear with me because I am, there's a lot of things I still need to learn and I'm totally understand that. So, but I've never heard of speed bans. So I had to step out before. What did I miss? Oh, we had to ban somebody. You didn't miss much. We were just doing a recap of the things that we talked about in game dev yesterday in regards to working in the game industry and something like that. Oh, so it's about them being quickly banned? There's actually a thing for that? Some people will deliberately try to type something to try and get banned as fast as possible. Okay. But okay, my brain asks one question. What does that gain them? Is it just to be a dick? So then go to their friend and say, I got banned in four messages? Okay, so it's just to be a dick. All right. My logic center just doesn't understand. I take, say, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to create an account and do all those things just to go into someone's other account, into someone's stream, to say three things and get thrown out. It doesn't. Logic makes no sense. The logic of that makes no sense. I'm sorry, I lost track on that. It's just No, I totally get it. It's just I wouldn't find that fun. What's really funny to me is based on that description, it would be very easy for Twitch to make a system that prevents that. You know, so I find it illogical that they allow it. But get it, sure. That is true. I do not have a terminally online mindset. I think that's probably the problem. You're probably right. I'm sorry. I'm putting my confusion out there. It's just I just don't see the benefit of it. You probably hurt new users coming to the site from YouTube to join chat. I don't think it would. And here's why. It's because there's certain amount of information you should be providing to have an account anywhere. I'm not saying thumbprints, DNA tests, and bloodletting and stuff like that. I'm just saying that there's a certain amount of identification that you should be able to put forth when you're signing up to be on someone's system like that. You know, if this person did not give a valid email, then why do they have an account? Is basically my question. And if, as part of banning, and this may be a case, I don't know enough about Twitch, but when you ban someone, is any kind of report of that person being banned sent to Twitch? Or is it just a personal thing, only on your site? Hmm. Well, emails are very easy to acquire. Yeah, I know. I'm sure technically anything that you really need to do this stuff is very easy to acquire. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I totally understand that because I think that there are times when that kind of thing gets completely out of hand, and it's it just sucks, you know, because it's there should be something that could be done from a standpoint of the platform itself, in my opinion. Because I realize that in some cases, for some people, and I've seen this happen to other streamers, that it gets so bad that they have to leave. You know that they can't do this kind of thing anymore, and it sucks. Okay, who's using a band as a comedy piece? Twitch could probably figure something out, but the problem is already mostly addressed by automated manual moderators, so there isn't a huge incentive for them to look into it with any real amount of risk. Yeah. Well, even that savvy. If you're banning people just to unban them later, what's the point? I don't know. There's parts about this thing, this streaming thing, that I just don't understand, and I probably never will, and that's fine. You know, because my thing is, if I'm not gaining knowledge, if I'm not improving, if I'm not moving forward, anything that's preventing me from doing that, I remove. I'm not saying don't look back and don't look at the mistakes you've made. I'm saying look, acknowledge them if you feel you have to, and say, okay, what are we doing next? There's not enough time in the day to worry about everything you've ever done in your lifetime. No, and I will. I'm going to do it my way. It's just this happens every now and then, and I think about it and like I just wonder what is the gain of doing it in the first place, and that's the part I don't understand. So if it's just to be a dick, it's just to be a dick. Okay, got it. Frank Sinatra style, cute. Acting out for fun. Okay, well, those were the kids we didn't play with when I was a kid. There isn't time to worry about every mistake you've ever made in your entire life, sir. You have never encountered my ADHD. I know a lot of people with ADHD, and I know a lot of people with a lot of different disorders. So don't worry, people still don't play with um. mm, No, okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted by that, but I just I'm just saying that I've noticed that whenever we have a situation and I go and look at the Twitch channel that their name is associated with, a good 99% of the time it's an empty channel, and I just don't understand the logic behind it. Okay, I certainly appreciate automated ways to help weed this stuff out, but track records with large platforms have a lot of friendly fire problems or false flags. Good mods and delay help take out the idiots. Okay, cool. All right, I'll drop it. If you think about it, it's kind of like mirrors real life. Every group of people always has some malcontents that only want to barrage in some momentary attention. Yeah. It all comes down to good community management at the end of the day. Yes, it does. And Savvy, we appreciate you. And Sparta, do not come up with another title for her. If we were at mercy of Twitch's automated system, I'd be banned 100. Well, for some reason, the auto mod does particularly like you, Sparta. I'm not sure why, but it does. It does take a certain percentage of its day just looking at you, and I don't know if I have ability to change that or reset that. I don't know. Bots are racist to you. Okay. So Sparta, yeah, I can see your point because you seem to be the number one user of our mod, of the automated mod bot. Hardly agree with Twitch adding telemetry to accounts to help humans make better, quicker decisions. Yeah. I'm just saying there would be, to me, I would have a team. In all honesty, I would have a team of programmers working on the problem. I mean, you're not going to, and you shouldn't make every single space safe all the time, because you still have to be able to allow people to disagree with you. But if you're just coming in, throwing shit on the walls and running, then that's not giving people your opinion. That's or discussing the opinion. That's just being a dick. Nevi, you're absolutely right. That's the way it seems sometimes, and it cracks me up. So yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Is Sparta a training set provider? It could be, but Sparta's also a very welcome part of this community, and she does a fantastic job interacting with us and putting stuff up. In fact, if you notice, even on credits, Sparta's almost on every single credit because he is always jumping in and being part of the community. And from the way it looks on our Discord, I think he pretty much just owns the one phone channel. Best part of this was talking about the Star Wars movie. Huh? Which Star Wars movie? He likes to stock, and he likes to keep lists. Sparta loves keeping lists. And that's why we love him. Welcome to the community. All righty then. Let's get back to what we were doing. Sorry for the tangent. I have a tendency to do that sometimes because I want to understand stuff. No, I just noticed earlier that you were in there. That's all, Sparta. Give me a hard time. Okay, let's go to this part. Okay. So, like I said, unfortunately, this week my time has been very limited before and after the show, and so I'm okay. I'm quite a bit behind on everything. Things that I know that we need is I need to work on some new emotes. Savvy actually suggested earlier that I do some of the remotes online, and I might do that. I just have to figure out which ones and all that stuff. Because there are a couple that I'd like to be able to do, and one of them is to take our little Vikings and give them a animated table flip. So you guys have an animated table flip, and you don't have to use ASCII all the time. You know, episode 6. Episode 6. Savvy Otter Strikes Back. What's funny is I have a Revenge of the Jedi poster from before they made it Return of the Jedi in my stuff in California, because my aunt used to work at 20th Century Fox, and before they changed the name, she sent me the movie poster for it. And so I was pretty happy I have that. I have to do something with that at some point, but it's in storage. For those people that don't know, that Return of the Jedi was actually originally called Revenge of the Jedi when it came out. But somebody somewhere along the creative line decided that that was too negative for the Jedi to take revenge, and that it should be a return instead. So there are posters for it out there. I don't know how many they made. I know that I got one of them. But they probably made a few thousand of them at least, because they were going to send them out to movie studios. But I do have one. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Let's see if there's an original somewhere. Oh yeah, that's it. This is actually a framed one. Well, let me see if I can get one that's a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. It's like I said, it's unfortunately it's in my storage in California. But it basically looks like this. Let's not that, we'll get this window here. No, yeah, okay, good. Take the logo down. So that's what it looked like. Yeah. Revenge of the Jedi. That's what it was originally called, and they did all the marketing and the movie posters for it and all that stuff, and then they turned it to Return of the Jedi. Oh, well, look, even here, I mean, there's some of them, if you have an original one, they could be quite expensive, but there's been so many copies made of them, you have to be able to prove that it was original. So, not sure how they prove it's original, but 60 grand for one, I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. I also have the Star Wars New Hope with the little black ribbon banner on the bottom of it that says Revenge of the Jedi. So, so cool stuff, fun things you get throughout the years. You just kind of go, okay, cool. Luke's lightsaber in Episode 6 was originally supposed to be blue. They changed it because it was tough to see the Tatooine sequence. Probably, I can see that. Yeah. Color theory works. You have to think it out. Yeah, in this poster he has a red one and Vader has a blue one. Also, fun fact. Okay, we got that. Yeah, I mean, you have to do those things. It's in the day, on the day of filming, what works, what doesn't. And if you're doing special effects, what works, what doesn't. I have an original color by number Star Wars poster. Oh, wow. That thing is worth around $300. It's funny because it was bought for 39 cents. Yes, but have you colored it in? Because I think it's probably only worth about $300 if it's not colored in. If you've colored it in, you have ruined it. No. But I mean, some of the stuff behind me here, even the stuff that I have on the walls and stuff, I could probably sell them and get a pretty good dollar for them. Who knows? But that's not the point. The point is, to me, the memory of it. You know, what is attached to it? What makes it important to me? And that's more reason to keep something than what their value is, what their monetary value is. Yeah, because I see some of this stuff go up for sale all the time. Even Blizzard rings, I've seen Blizzard rings up for sale on eBay. You know, and that makes me sad. Because someone put 15 years into the company and now are selling off their ring, and that always makes me sad when I see those kind of things. It doesn't look like there's any right now, so that's actually cool. That's good. That's good. Okay, there's a 2-year Stein. Oh, a lot of swords. A lot of the swords up for sale. That's too bad. So if we look at, wasn't there an ongoing gag that the 5-year sword is hidden retirement? The gag being that if you worked for 5 years, you could sell off your sword for profit. It was probably after they went to, if that was a joke, it probably was after they went to the actual Blizzard embedded swords. Whereas those of us that got the first ones those were literally swords that they bought off the internet, so they probably weren't anything worth it. So, but there may have been a joke about that. I don't know. I don't remember. It wasn't with the swords that I have. Because like I said, the swords that Mike and Alan and me and Bob and Sam and all those in the first years are just ones that literally Mike and Alan found on the internet. Let's see. Oh, there's no shields up, so that's good. So you could probably get pretty bank for the Lordaeron shield for the 10-year shield. Yeah, so there's no rings, no shields, but there was a 2-year Stein, which is back there too. So, but yeah, me personally, I could never sell them. I mean, I'm sure when I'm dead and gone, that Thor and Loki will they've been ordered to sell everything and split it in half. So that's what you do. Hmm. Could I think Jason was talking about. He may have, because it's. You got to remember that there's multiple generations at Blizzard now, and what is going on with one generation, the other generation may know nothing about. Hmm. I didn't see if Shane is doing FF tomorrow or not, but I'll still be there regardless. Might be gone a while for work, but still check in. Okay, I'm just babbling at this point. Let's see what we can do. So, one of the things I am going to do is Sorrentos, who we've talked about several times, or sorry, not Sorrentos, Sparta, who we've talked about several times, has put forth a lot of stuff for our projects. You know, and one of them is a new map that we'll be using to build our new layouts, which I'll probably start doing the layout for that tomorrow. So while I am busy with after hours stuff, so that we're still moving forward. Because I've kind of stalled out this week, and I apologize for that. Yes, the Sorrentos confusion strikes again. It happens. It's like when your parents are trying to call for you, but they yell your brother's name first, you know? Wahahaha. Yes, we talked about it. We also put an announcement up in Discord, Devil King. So you have to remember to, again, we talked about it even at the beginning of this segment, is please, if you're going to submit any art to the sketch thing, then please make sure you get it in by today, because we stopped getting it today and the channel will be locked and you won't be able to put it in anymore. No, Spartan and Santos are not my kids. I have 2 kids. You ain't it. By the way, I'm not against reviewing the writing for the town that's attached to that. Oh yeah, and I intend to. Like I said, I am way behind this week on a lot of stuff, and I will be getting to that, and we will. And I talked to you, and I think I even said it online here. Is I think I've talked to you and both Savvy, you and you, about having writing sessions on the Discord voice channels and talking about story and stuff like that and doing all that stuff. I just haven't got there yet. I was hoping to get here this week, but unfortunately there's some in real life things that I have to take care of this week that have to take a little bit of precedent right now, you know, because it needs to get done, and that's just all there is to it. In fact, I have to leave exactly at 4 today because I have to go and do some in real life stuff. So once I send you guys on the raid for today, then I have to literally run. Yeah, and you do, and I owe you a special apology because I should have got to it last week and I didn't. Top 5's most active yearlings during game dev season sessions for the writing group was the original plan. And if you need to go early, that's right. No, 4 o'clock's fine. I can still get everything done at that time. So. Okay, automated systems. We talked about those yesterday. Another thing cool about the automated system that I put together for the transcription stuff is it actually tells me how much it actually cost to do it. So like yesterday's transcription, which is came out to 32 pages of transcription with all the questions and all that stuff that I showed you guys yesterday, cost me 66 cents. Oh, excuse me, 69.2 cents. So for the full transcription of an hour and whatever it was, an hour and 40 minutes or whatever it was for yesterday, it only cost me 67 cents to have it transcribed. 2 cents per page. That's not bad. If you go and you have someone hand transcribe an audio file, you're talking big bank. Well, that's also why I want to see about adding time code to the output. Because when I download like our chat files, like your guys' chat that we're doing right now, when it's downloaded, it actually comes with time code for when you guys say things. If I had time code on the transcript at the same time, then I can line up my comments to your comments and have a full readout of the whole conversation, which could be really good. What are we talking about? Howdy, everybody. Right now, we're just talking about the transcription of yesterday's show because yesterday I showed how I set up a system on Saturday to auto transcribe our conversations in game dev in our game dev section, and now I was just talking about what the cost of that transcription is, as well as what benefits it has and what I would add to it. Well, I have to look at the YouTube version. Yeah, maybe there is a way on YouTube to download it. I don't know. But right now, like I said, is Savvy showed me how to download the chats for every show, which is one of the reasons why I put in chat now the starting game dev section in chat, so that when I pull the chat logs, then I know where this section starts, and I can know where I can start working on the files to get all the information of what we're talking about while we're talking about game dev and things like that. And then I'll also mark it with an end, because we do have stuff that we do after game dev. So, but yeah, time code to me is like, it's okay if it's a couple seconds, like 8 to 10 seconds off forward or backward, but getting stuff in the general area would be really cool. And I know from doing closed captioning for all the Blizzard stuff for years and years and years, if I can get a single time code for a single sentence as is of the transcription, that can be fantastic, because then I can pull that into Excel, format the time code for chat, and put everything together into a single document, which could be pretty nice. YouTube has its own. Yeah, I haven't looked at YouTube. In fact, it's probably a bad thing. I said I haven't really looked into anything on the YouTube side other than making sure that the file's up there and stuff. So a lot of my after stream stuff is about making sure that the files on YouTube are all correct, and that I've downloaded everything and processed it properly, and cut up the game dev stuff to make the game dev playlist. So we will get there. YouTube is a great place to watch people clean things. Really? What, like houses, or what do you mean? Apparent apparition? Carpets? Really? Oh, you mean, oh, I think I know what you're talking about. The ones that they bring the absolutely black carpet in, throw it on the ground, and do that. Yes, pimple popping is also really big on YouTube. It's a lot more relaxing. Well, I think that, and we've talked about this on the stream before, is there's a lot of streamers that are just 100% energy from top to bottom. You know, I forget which one I forget her name, but there was a girl that we rated a couple weeks ago that the amount, I don't see how she keeps that energy level up. In all honesty, I just could not understand how she could keep that energy up. It was something violet or red velvet. That's the one. She is like, if you go and watch Red Velvet, and she'll probably get chosen as a raid at some point again. But that girl has energy like there's no tomorrow. It's just like, oh my god, that is like scary energy. And I thought it was going to stop, but they started playing Jackbox on her stream, and she just like, wow, I couldn't do that. You know, I'm more a layback guy. Like, okay, let's talk, let's do things. You know, the landscaping ones are oddly satisfying. Yes, they are, and I've watched those too. Like they walk in and, oh, the police were called because I was cleaning the neighbor's yard. What? Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. And you're absolutely right. There's a certain satisfaction is when they're all done and you're like, okay, cool. Ba, 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 ba. The Spiffing Brit. I've never seen that one. Is that like the Spiffing Brit? Never heard of it. But is it like Spiffer? The Spiffer, the better cleaner upper? The golden retriever energy. Holy cow, that's pretty good. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, show me cool stuff has always been my thing, and watching you jump over Ferraris going 60 miles an hour and stuff like that just is not. It's like, okay, I watched Jackass in the day, got it. You know, I'll be over here making cool shit. He does game and other exploits in hilarious game breaking content. Okay. It's pretty good. Recently got into him myself. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check him out. You said it's on YouTube, so let's see. Is our YouTube stream running still? Yes, it is. Okay. We haven't been thrown off yet. Yay for us. But I will let me add okay, just spiffing Brit. Sponsored by AFK. No, spiffing Brit. This guy. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Because the one thing that I get into, and it's actually quite hilarious, is the reaction videos for watching people react to things that happened when I was in high school and stuff like that. Especially the ones that like are seeing like Queen or Freddie Mercury or old bands for the first time. Also, them seeing people seeing George Carlin for the first time. Those reaction videos are amazing because George was amazing. But to realize that people, well, a lot of people don't know who he is anymore because he died so long ago. But those are good. Also, watching people react to Mel Brooks movies for the first time. Um, yeah, I just put them on my list. The Spiffing Brit. Carlin. The reactions for the Carlin stuff is just talk about a guy that could write thing. Bill Hicks. Yeah, go ahead and let Bill Hicks go through. That's Bill Hicks was amazing. You know, Sam Kinison was a master. Oh my God. Sam Kinison, when he first came out, when Rodney Dangerfield had him on his show, which was the first time he was introduced to a national audience or even a world audience, is amazing. You know, and he was in Rodney Dangerfield's movie Back to School or something like that, when Rodney Dangerfield goes back to school with his son or something. But Sam Kinison was amazing. Was amazing, hilarious guy. You know, literally, he died because he was driving from Las Vegas to Needles, and he basically drove his Corvette under an 18-wheeler and got crushed. Hmm. Yeah, George. I remember George from he was in Car Wash years ago. It was in the early 70s, and he used to be a stand-up. Originally, he was a DJ, and then he started doing stand-up. Yeah, it's about 90 seconds long. My favorite reaction video is face turns into a toddler trying out chocolate for the first time while watching it. Oh, wow. There wouldn't be any starvation if you lived where the food is. Yeah, you live in the desert. And then there's the whole thing with the alphabet, which is just always cracked me up. I'm writing a letter. Ah, yeah, that was a really bad way to go. What a lot of people don't know, and maybe they do, is when he was a kid, Sam Kinison was one of those evangelistic kid preachers. Yeah, I know he joked about it quite a few times in some of his shows, but he was a full evangelistic kid in the white suit, standing up on stage yelling about God. So yeah, it was funny stuff. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, but if you ever just have some time to kill, just go to YouTube and hit the reactions button, and there's some good ones in there. And some of the ones in regards to like old movies and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh my god, you've never heard of these? So you got to give them credit. They're pretty cool dudes. I follow a bunch of them because I always like their reactions. Like there were some girls, I think, what were they called? The Gallifrey girls, and they were watching through. They watched through Doctor Who, but they were all they did stop and go through Red Dwarf, which I thought was really good. And they were very funny about it. Okay, let's go there. Yeah, it's not coming up there. Oh well. Let's see if I can find some of these people that I've watched in the past. 'Cause some of them are really, really good. When they've just not, you know, let's see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it's like I said, this computer is cut off from my main computer, so I'm not getting the ones that I usually watch on this list. But yeah, reaction stuff is really cool. I really like it. Oh, that's funny. No matter what I look up, there's my kid every time. I see you, boy. Mhm. Okay, where we at? Rice is great when you want to eat 1,000 of something. That's true. This guy, what's this guy's name? Black Pegasus? Is that? Yeah, I think that's that guy. I've seen quite a few things by him. Oh, Oh, wow. I'm trying to remember what the name of a specific guy was that watched a lot of stuff. There was also a girl that I've watched a lot of her reactions to movies and stuff. But my favorite of all of them, not because of the people, but because of what it was, is people that watched the 1985 Live Aid performance of Queen. That one's really, really good. So if you just go 1985 Queen at Live Aid, that performance is absolutely amazing, and reactions to it are really, really cool. Because Freddie Mercury, for all of his other issues he had, that boy could sing. Oh my God, he could sing. Yeah, and the fact that they're watching it and realizing that at that time there was no autotune. They had a little bit of reverb, and that was about it. That guy had a throat like there was no tomorrow when it came to singing. Oh my God. If you haven't seen it, even if you don't watch the reactions, find the video of that concert, and the control he had on that crowd and what they were doing and stuff like that was just that's why you become a rock star right there. But cool stuff. Yeah. Throat goat. Okay, sorry. Funny. Mm. That's great one. Okay. I loved when Carlin went off on a rant. The soft words. Oh, well, there's the 7 words. 7 words you can't say on television. I can repeat them to this day from the original record I listened to way back in the day. It's like, shit, fish, kosher, hoxer, motherfucking tits. See, I know them all. You know, and it was all based on his radio show where they would tell him what words he couldn't say, and that's where he originally came up with the idea. But when he talks through each of the individual words, it's you're talking such comedy gold is just amazing. Performing demonstration. There's also, what is that guy's name? Let me see. Because there's a guy I like to check in on now and then because he's a musician, but he's also really funny. Uh, there he is, and he does requests. Let's see if I can get this correct here. I don't want to blast out the. Okay, good. He didn't. Good. He has a number one thing. One of the things he has is a YouTube channel called 10-second songs. Miss Maisel was really good. In fact, I think it was about, if I remember correctly, Miss Maisel was based on, um, what was her name? Joan Rivers. I believe it was based on Joan Rivers in the early years, but I did like it. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw season 2. I think I saw most of season 1, and then I went to the UK, and then oh, Stephen Lynch. The guy that I'm looking at now, and I could probably show you pictures of him, but I can't. I don't think I can play the music, so I'm not going to. But if you go and find him, he does a song called "Cute" that is absolutely brilliant, and it's a song to his cat. But he does a whole bunch of stuff. So, but you've probably seen him. This guy here, extremely funny. Some of the songs are absolutely brilliant. But he also does songs sung by other artists than your normal artist would sing them. Very funny guy. But every now and then I'll go and dig up what he's doing lately and watch them because they make me laugh. But cute, if you look up, his name is Vincent something. Oh, Anthony Vincent is his name. And just put in Anthony Vincent cute, and you will laugh your ass off. It's very funny. But he gets requests all the time. He does them, so and he does a lot of songs and different songs that, yeah, like here's like YMCA in the style of Rammstein, which is, I believe, a Russian heavy metal band. Hilarious. Some of them are so good, though. Definitely worth checking out. But he does have another YouTube one where he talks about things and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Oh, is it German? Sorry, my apologies. Sorry, I got it wrong. I'm willing to admit the mistake and move on. Oops, I guess I didn't copy it. Copy. Oh, wow, interesting. Yeah, that's a mess. Okay, no big deal. So check them out. The cute song just cracks me up. Tom Cardy. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, he does reactions. Okay. Oh no, I haven't seen this guy before. I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll see if I can. The Wolf Hunters. Is that what he's under? Or Insane Ian? He shows up in a couple places apparently. Coming music reaction by Tom Cardy. Okay, we'll go that one. Insane Ian. Yeah, grab that. Check it out later. See, I can sub too. Mm-hmm. Dew has now rolling in my eyes. Oh, the cute one will stick with you. Mm. Tom Cardy doesn't do reacts. Oh, then I must have found the wrong person because there's another person online named that. Tom Cardy HS reaction with. There may be more than one Tom Cardy then. I may have the wrong one. Official drummer, first hearing. Maybe that's the one that you're trying to get me to. Oh well. Cute aggression. Yes. That song cracks me up. Cute Aggression is absolutely brilliant by Anthony Vincent. But he has a lot of songs that are just like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah. And he also does this thing where he'll do one song by multiple artists and then lets people vote on which artist they want to hear the full song from. And he'll just do little snippets of it. And then he'll go back and make the whole song with the artist that people vote on. No, I'm sure he records it separately and then just mouths it with the cat when he's holding the cat. But because the cat doesn't look disturbed by it all, the cat actually looks kind of bored about it. Yeah, because you can see the cat's pretty bored by the whole thing. But hmm, well, the cat, based on what he does, the cat may actually be used to it. You're absolutely right. It's like, ah, oh, it's him again. Whatever. You got any treats for me? Nope. Okay, leave me alone. Because there's a lot of people that pick up their cats and toss them around and in a fun way, not in a we're going to hurt you way. Got to give them credit for that. Mm. But it's funny because he auto tunes his voice to the person he's imitating, and it actually sounds not too bad. Mm. Oh, his Bohemian Rhapsody is pretty good too. Yeah, so because he does Bohemian Rhapsody in the style of System of a Down, and it's really good. He does it a couple. He has one that has Bohemian Rhapsody in 42 different styles, which is one of his compilation ones where he lets you vote as to which one he wants to see. You want to see Final Love. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening through Galileo. Galileo Figaro. I remember when that first came out. I was in high school. Hmm. I mean, you'd be surprised what people's pets get used to. He also does things like Korn doing Britney Spears. Those are pretty funny. You know, things like that are pretty hilarious to me. It's too bad I can't play any of them. I would like to be able to play some of them, but I don't think it will let me. Twitch will get all bent out of shape. Okay, so I'm gonna put it down. That seems pretty hard to achieve. No, he did a really good job on it. Yeah, if you look it up, it's not too bad. I remember air guitar in Bohemian Rhapsody with a tennis racket. Oh, that's funny. But very interesting. I've seen way weirder. Yes. Well, like he does one is Ozzy Osbourne singing Britney Spears Baby One More Time. That one's pretty good too. So yeah, there's a whole wide range of stuff that is worth watching with him. Because I'll go in there when I just need my heavy metal fix for the day. They have a collab where they perform Spice Girl songs in the style of System of the Down. I knew I had to follow them both. Yeah, that's pretty good. That sounds familiar with the Aussie one. I mean, sounds familiar? Yeah. But that's what he does. Is he actually people send him requests And the more the bizarre the request, it's just funny. He does a pretty good job. Here's one. Aerosmith's Walk This Way in the style of Pantera. Hmm. Hmm. Too funny. Okay, back to what we're supposed to be doing. Sorry, guys. I, hmm. Last couple of days I've been really distracted. Have you seen the guys that perform songs by barcodes? They call it Will It Riff. Not that I'm aware of, unless that's a joke. It's funny because my mindset is this a dad joke? Let's look up Will It Riff. Oh, wow. The real way to play 17. Hmm. You talk about Small Town Titans? That's neat. Cute. Why did the robot get pulled over on the way to work? It's not a dead joke. They are they are good. Ha! Yeah, this is pretty good. Have you seen the guy? Yeah. I think it another healthy request. Small town titans. Maybe that's we'll see. Because he couldn't think of a savvy response to please the bot. Hmm. Bot masters. Boom, 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 boom. Didn't you? If you look up the question, will Heinz tomato ketchup rock? And that's the riff guys. Yeah, I can see them holding a bottle of Heinz tomato ketchup. So yeah, it is the guys that I found. It is got where to go. Yeah, Small Town Titans is what they're called on YouTube. Let me follow them real quick. Okay. I'll listen to them later. Because I'm always looking for stuff that cracks me up. All right. That's fun to listen to. Yeah, they have a few things. Their singer to me looks like Riff Raff, but hmm, too funny. You've come on a very special night. It's one of the master's affairs. Richard O'Brien. There's always room for Jello. Cool. All right. Get back to here. So, like I was saying, what I'll do is I'm going to rejigger the, let me pull this up. My goal is to find the time to start working on the map again and rejigger it to, I think that Sparta's level design actually works out really well for the story we're now working on. And my current level design that we put in there, though, is an improvement, is not, that's interesting. What are you? We will wait on that. Sorry, something came up on my warning screen. So let's pull this. So, come on, you can do it. No, apparently you can't. Oh, it looks like they've changed something. Interesting. Nope, not coming up on the screen at all. Let's try another thing. Let's try this. Okay, there. So like I was saying is, with the new, what I'll do is I'll take this artwork here and we'll just basically rebuild based on the new design, and we'll have separate pages, but it'll only be where bridges are. When you go over a bridge, you leave to a separate room. I made was a rough sketch. Yeah, we'll online work it all out. I have the land for myself. If it helps further the game, then, oh, I mean, if it's something separate that you want it separate, then okay, I will not use it. Yeah. Have you seen the Switch 2? No, I've not seen the Switch 2. My thoughts right now is I'm just very concerned about what the actual cost is going to be in the US. Because my understanding is, as of last week, Nintendo has pulled all pre-orders because of the, unfortunately, because of the tariff situation. So something that in the US would probably go for $450 is probably going to be up around 700, 800, 900. I don't know. It kind of worries me. From what you've heard, but you have to check what happened in the last week, because the tariff stuff is going to affect that greatly. And Nintendo did. There was a news article that came out that Nintendo did pull all the pre-orders going into the U.S. because the price may change quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know the full story. That's just the overview of what I read. So if I do not have the facts correct, please forgive me. I haven't completely read up on the story, but that was what my understanding is for it. Is that they're repricing it based on tariffs because they manufacture as orders come in. They don't manufacture everything all at once and sell it over a period of time. So tariffs will affect all of that. But other than that, I mean, my understanding from people that wanted it, it's a pretty good system. They were very concerned about the price in the first place because it was pretty high. For $475 was pretty high. Yeah, well, unfortunately, any electronics coming in is going to be costly. So we will see how that turns out. Sparta, I will uh, try to jump into one of your conversations at some point on the voice thing and get that cleared up with you. I don't want to use something that you had isolated for yourself. I apologize for that if that is the case. 7900 for a handheld console from Nintendo will likely be years behind the hardware. I don't know. Now, if that happens, I'll stop playing Nintendo entirely. Can't see the value in that. If I want handheld, I'll just use my Steam Deck. Okay. So I'm leaning into read. Oh yeah, it looks cool. And they seem to be, to me, they seem to be getting bigger. Because right now, US, it says introductory price is $449.99. That's the introductory price. In the EU for euros, it's 469. Yen is 49,980. In the UK, it's 395 pounds. But I don't know all the conversion rates, but we can kind of get an idea there. But this was dated, well, it's coming out on the 5th, so 5th of June. Yeah. But nobody's released after tariffs price yet. But they're looking around. But before that, it was around 450. So on this article here, it says that it could go as high as 540 after tariffs, but we'll see. I don't know. For me, the 450 was even too much. I mean, even my PS5 didn't cost that much. So I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I'd get one, because it's not just the Switch, but it's also all the gadgets you need to for it and stuff like that. That's pretty pricey. Mm. But I'll wait to see where the price actually pans out. But I thought some console versions cost 500 higher storage and or so disk. I don't know. 500 is just too much for, to me. It's just too much for a handheld. I mean, you might as well, you can go buy an iPad. Personally, the only Nintendo exclusive I'm interested in is Pokemon. The newer Zelda games are fun and all, but I'm not sweating if I don't get a new Zelda. Well, that's true. Donkey Kong. Yeah, even with the bundles, if you throw the bundles in there, you're gonna get above 600. So yeah, most of the games I play these days are on my iPad, not on anything else. So because I always have my iPad with me, and I can just stop and do a couple minutes of stuff. Yeah, there's no new articles on price updated from the last week or so. There's a couple articles that say that it's going to be probably around 550, 540 instead of 450, but I don't know how true that is. That is true. I agree with Cervantes. If I had anything other than my iPad, I would not get anything done anywhere. You know, that's why even the games that I play on my iPad are games that I can play for 5 minutes and walk away from. Yeah. Trying to see if there's anything. No. Here, Joy, because he didn't get a raise. Get it? A raise. A raise. I'll stop. Okay. Thank you, Fluffy Panda, for giving me a giggle. I stream my PC to my Stream Deck. It's glorious. Cool. Glorious is good. Glorious is your friend. Glorious would be with you forever. Look up something here real quick. God, for some reason, my copy paste is not working. Okay, that's better. Okay, I need to know the cost of raw materials also. Yeah, the cost of our raw materials are going to increase, absolutely. Because it's not just about the final product that's going to be the issue. It's about where all the materials, like the metals, the plastics, where's all that stuff coming from? You know, so all of that gets tariffed, and then the final product gets tariffed as well. I used a reminder of my losing my job as a reason to not use my portable gaming devices when I need to get work done. Okay. I have resisted getting a Steam Deck so far. Resist. I'm about to build a PC. Oh yeah, you were still waiting for your case. I remember, Savvy. I hope it comes soon. Mm. Back over here. It's just like the old ESP. I remember the boys had those and they played them everywhere. But they didn't hold battery life for very long. Oh, good. Cool. Yeah, I got really lucky with this case as it came literally like within a day and a half. And right now I've done an inventory as to what I need. And for the next 6 months, I don't think I need to buy any electronics or anything like that for anywhere or any of the stuff I have, because I'm actually glad, because I'm not sure what's going to go on with the pricing. But you do have a 490. Okay, yeah. I think the one in this system is a 390 or 3090. I could be wrong. Because I didn't want to pay for the 400 when it came out. I built this system. Where are we at here? I know it's in here. This window a little smaller. What is it? Where is it? That's the 12. Gigabit tech. I'm not seeing it. Or maybe, nope. I know you're out there. Display. This has got to be on this one here. Oh yeah, it's an RTX 3090. Is what I'm running on the system. It does pretty good. But that's kind of where things are. It's like, okay, yes, I want something. However, if I can get it now cheap, I'll get it. If I can't, then it's like, okay, do I really need it? You download my physical game without internet. Just feels wrong. Yeah. We've come a long way from having to put boxes on shelves. So I remember when in the early days with Warcraft and Warcraft 2, we put Blizzard notepads in the box so the box would feel heavy, and people really appreciated the fact that we put Blizzard notepads in there. But the whole game was that if someone picks up your box, that your box felt heavy and they felt like they were getting their money's worth, whether it was just the weight of the game itself on discs or if it was the accessories in it. It was just you had to make a box heavy. Now you don't have that. Now it's like, okay, I go online, I find the cheapest price, I download it, I make sure that it doesn't have any bugs or any viruses. I install it and play it. So mm, yeah, I just couldn't justify in myself spending the money for the 40s when they first came out. So I bought a 39 at a pretty good stock, a 3090, and at a pretty good price, and used that. And it's an RTX, so it has a little bit better technology. It's not too bad. And they update it, like they update the drivers for it quite constantly, actually. Dark matter synthesis. That is a village. Yes, that is a village. I do that a lot for abandonware. My friend still runs a 1080. What's funny is one of my old computers, I was running a 1080. In fact, I think it's over here on the shelf. What is this one? So I think I burned it out, but I just don't remember which one it is. Oh, sorry. This is a GTX 980. That's right. GTX 980 right there. There you go. Oh, too funny. I didn't realize it was that old. I had to pull it out because it stopped working. 980, that's right. I had a 1080 for years. Good GPU. Yeah, some of them are really, really good. And they last a really good long time. That one, like I said, that was in my main computer, which is the computer over here, forever. And then I had to pull it out because I don't think they're updating them anymore. But I'll probably try to put it back in and see if they're doing updates now. Okay, let's do this. Let's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Technically, we didn't do a lot of game dev here today. Sorry, guys. Just close that by doing that, and then come back to over here.